Have you spent too much time and money in the workshop? Are you constantly changing your parts, even though you've barely ridden? Have you wondered what components actually make a difference to your durability and performance? Fancy finding out some technical secrets and the key components that will give you the ultimate e-bike experience? First things first, no matter how much you spend on components, they're not gonna last unless you keep them clean and lubed. So, using examples such as the PT's solvent degreaser, that'll keep everything nice and clean and strip off all that horrible stuff on your chain and cassette. Loam foam, that's just an easy win. You clean your whole bike and it's super easy to use. And not only that, PT's Link Glide, that lube will keep your chain and cassette running way, way longer. Why? So increased torque, more use, tougher climbs, they're really going to push a chain to its limits. And not only that, you're more likely to get rock strikes or ground the bike. And to be honest, e-mountain bike chains break more than mountain bike chains, and that's a fact. So there's plenty of options when it comes to EMTB drive chains, but it's not just about the chain, it's about the full drive chain system. So the chain, the cassette, the derailleur, and the chainring. So Shimano make the Link Glide system, which comes in a 10 or 11 speed option, and it's got a wide range cassette, so you can go up to about 50 tooth. They also have a range of chainring sizes as well to match. Now, Shimano claim that it's about 3 times as durable, which is crazy, and it's an amazing price. We've also had a great experience with the SRAM Axis cassettes. Now, we've had one that actually lasted over 5,000 kilometers, but it's a lot more money. And I guess in this instance, you get what you pay for. More than this, it's really worth considering changing out your chain quite regularly because you're more likely to wear through your chain and cassette if you leave a worn chain on. But it's a combination of the component and the maintenance in this instance because you've got to make sure you're keeping your chain cleaned, waxed, lubed. Using something like the PT's Link Lube is going to keep your chain and cassette running way, way longer. Do you really need specific e-mountain bike tires? Well, yes and no. It really depends on the brand and the actual model itself. Now, remember that you're actually going to be doing more riding in the same space of time as you would do on a regular mountain bike. So it's less focused on the abuse and what you're throwing at the bike and more down to the actual wear that you're putting through from riding more and more and more. There's another side to tires, in fact. It's actually the impact it has on your watt hours on the battery itself. So you run a harder tire, more pressure, you're going to be running a better battery life, but at the compromise of control and comfort. So it all kind of really depends on where you ride and how you ride as to how you're going to run your tires. If you're riding proper off-road, you're going to need something with a stronger sidewall and something that's a little bit heavier to help you with all that riding you're putting through the tires. So having something that's 1.1 or 1.2 kilos isn't a bad thing. It's going to give you lots of protection, along with, say, tubeless. Now, if you're running a good tubeless compatible e-mountain bike tire, you could have millions of thorns and not even be aware of it with a good tubeless setup. So something like the Pirelli Scorpions are a really good option. They kind of tick all the boxes above. They're strong, they've got a reinforced sidewall, and they're really great with the tubeless compatibility. So whether you're skipping over loose gravel or going through a technical rock garden, choosing the right e-mountain bike tire is going to give you the confidence and give you the chance to go longer and further. Although weight didn't have a massive impact on a lot of the other components, it really does seem to play a key on brakes. Now, in order to slow down, you've got an extra 5 to 10 kilos, so you're going to need to make sure you've got the right stopping force. So there's basics here. Using a 4-piston caliper paired with, say, a 200mm or more rotor is really going to help with heat dissipation. And taking care to choose the right brake pads will really help control your bike in the right environment with the correct usage. So brands like Uberbike offer thicker pads. Now that's going to help with some short-term wear, but to be honest, longer-term wear is going to come down to your rotors. So choosing a thicker rotor is going to help that. Magura offer the MDR-C with about 2mm thickness, and then you've got the SRAM HS2 rotors, which are about 2.3mm thick. So this can actually help you having to change your rotors as often. It's not like you need to that often, but these are going to last that little bit longer. So just think about how many extra laps you're getting in compared to a regular mountain bike within an hour. And not just that, the extra miles you're putting in as a whole. Also think about how much extra torque you're putting through your rear hub on an e-mountain bike. It's basically just bigger and stronger. Now there's some great examples of e-mountain bike wheel sets from the likes of, say, DT Swiss or WTB, and they've really honed in on those fine details. So think about a few different things: your rim width and material, your free hub material, your axle, your spoke length and number. They're all things that will play into the durability of your wheel set. So you've got carbon or aluminium. Now carbon's great, it is really, really strong, but it's more likely to crack, whilst aluminium's going to dent. Now aluminium, I think for most scenarios is probably better. It'll help with a bit of deflection too. You've got to make sure that the wheels are tubeless compatible. Now I've got a few great examples for you to choose from. So you may have seen the video recently with Steve using the WTB HTZ i30 rims. Now, they cover all of the above. They've got steel axle, loads of bearings, really bomb-proof rims, and they kind of fit the bill. Otherwise, a great example is also the DT Swiss H range. So these are the HX 1700s. Now, they offer a similar setup. They are just a beefier rim than the normal DT Swiss setup. So having your motor and battery at the lowest points of your bike is great for handling, but arguably you're putting it in probably the most vulnerable place while you're riding. So Protect EMTB and Bash Street are two brands out of many that make these aftermarket reinforcement kits, and they normally just bolt onto the bottom of your motor casing. Now this is really important to make sure that you're keeping the heart of your bike still beating hard. So in terms of keeping the bike rolling for longer, having frame protection is going to make sure that your bike stays sweet for as long as possible. And in fact, you can actually carry that over from first-hand ownership. Now, that's good durability. There you have it, folks, some technical insight into how to keep your bike running longer and faster. Now, by making these smart choices, you're more likely to be spending time on the trails than you will be in the workshop. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'd love to hear your comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see loads more content. We'll see you next time. I've been Adam. I'm out.